I have an extra 5 minutes. This morning's class somehow. Parts 5 and 6. So yesterday evening class and this morning's class. That's what we're discussing. And tomorrow we'll do the next batch. Okay, so this is the quotable quotes part. This is fill in the blank. Ready? What fixes the living being in the orbit of spiritual activities? Lots of things. Who remembers? Path of knowledge. To practice what is more dangerous than the act of desire themselves? Artificially erasing the actions of desires. So trying to become desireless, or the actions connected to desire, making them zero. What good can repression accomplish, right? Something and something are only shadowy representations of the real something and something and something. Society, friendship, and love are only shadowy representations of the real society, friendship, and love. When a student serves his master as a menial servant, his something are mitigated by rendering service and gradually attains something. Troubles, spiritual knowledge. All anomalies of the present social system can be reformed only by the cultivation of the human spirit in Krishna consciousness, right? In the devotional service of the Lord. Progress in cultivating the human spirit entails the gradual disappearance of Maya, right? Materialistic ego. The energy of our senses is meant to be something. That's okay. The energy of our senses is meant to be diverted. That's the answer. That's the language of this section, not stopped. Purify the senses. Life without Krishna is blank. That's for sure. Barren. Okay, we're going to quiz. Now, there was a recommendation that rather than, having you raise your hand and volunteer something, kind of a practice, we can cover more ground if I do it this way. Let's see what happens. Chapter 21. The wind carries the clouds to different parts of the globe. Clouds distribute rain to the satisfaction of people in general. What does the wind, what do the wind and clouds represent? So some of you remember because it was part of our discussion. It's part of one of your questions. And what is the duty of intelligent men? Who are the most intelligent men? Ask the men. Don't ask the ladies. Or we'll go into the gender topic this morning. So the clouds represent rich kings and merchants who distribute their accumulated wealth inspired by the religious priests or the brahmanas. Just as the wind carries the clouds to other places to pour water, the brahmanas should simply guide the other orders in spiritual cultivation. Here's the answer to your question. Check it out. The wind itself does not take up the responsibility for pouring water. Remember your question. So what's the duty of intelligent men? Guide the wealthy to be charitable. And then the charitable for the purpose of spiritual culture. Who are those people, most intelligent people? They're the saints and sages who have sacrificed everything for the service of spiritual culture. They travel to inspire members to engage themselves in acts of spiritual culture by sacrificing words, money, intelligence, and life. Remember that? Balaram, Krishna saying to Balaram, just see these trees in the forest. They're bowing down to you. They simply want to serve you. And this is the nature of a good person. They sacrifice body, minds, words, and intelligence. 22. After the complete rainy season, the forest of Vrindavan was full of fruits like dates and blackberries, ripening on the trees and bushes. Lord Sri Krishna, along with his elder brother, Sri Baladev, and other cowherd boys of the vicinity, entered the beautiful forest, accompanied by the cows, to display transcendental pastimes with his eternal friends. So, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, I'm not sure what the best way of doing this is. I'm just following some suggestions so we can cover more ground. It's just a review. It's not. My sense is it's more meaningful and more memorable. You'll retain more if you strain a little bit. Other right answers can also be supplied, but then specifically, what was the choice that Prabhupada made? So I like Amalanam. I like the idea of the multiple choice thing. And you don't need my review. It's just supposing you're looking at this slide and it gives A, B, C, and D. And one of the responses is what Srila Prabhupada gave in the text. So there can be right answers and goofy answers, and the answer that Prabhupada gave in the text. So it's helping you. I think I like that method. So let's try that method going into the future. So then you can do with it whatever you decide in your breakout groups in 4 minutes. What steps can we take to further deepen our experience? Our experience of Krishna, in other words. Become followers of the 6 Goswamis and leave Houston. No, go to Vrindavan. At least visit. Reside in Vrindavan someday, maybe. Anuad Preshik Swami was telling me how he was residing in Vrindavan for a couple of months. Now he's in Houston. And then he's somewhere else, like most of us. Chapter 23. The cows that followed the Lord within the forest moved slowly because of their heavy milk-laden udders. When the Lord called them by their specific names, they at once became alert. And as they hastened toward him, their milk bags overflowed and poured milk on the ground because of affection for the Lord. He's the center of all affection. So how can we build our affection? Yes. How can we revive our natural affection for Krishna? Like the cows and all the inhabitants of Vraja. By spiritual culture, receiving the messages of the Lord with a purified heart. I found it really amazing that the whole vision that Prabhupada had for this conference for the cultivation of human spirit included not only the text, but these images and blow-ups of the images that would be posted around the conference hall, and people could see the images and then read the book, which didn't get published, and cultivation of the human spirit. Visionary. Okay, chapter 24. When the Lord entered the forest of Vrindavan, all the inhabitants of the forest, both animate and inanimate, were eager to receive him. He saw that the flowers of the forest, all fully blossoming, were weeping in ecstasy, honey flowing down their petals. The waterfalls on the hilly rocks were gladly flowing, and one could hear sweet sounds from the caves nearby. Let's go. What are the ontological positions of the flowers? Waterfalls, birds, trees, fruits, hills, caves, beasts, and human beings in relation to Krishna. Somebody said something. Then why is spiritual energy considered better? They're all Krishna's energies, ontologically. What does ontological mean? It's the science of being. So they, all these things, animate and inanimate, they're Krishna's energies. So what's the spiritual energy? Why is it considered superior? Spiritual energy is superior because without its contact, material energy cannot produce anything. Chapter 25, and this is the end for this morning. When there was rainfall, Krishna took shelter twice, at the feet of the trees or in the caves. Krishna reciprocated with the feelings of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Krishna played with them, sat with them, ate fruits with them. What does becoming one with God mean? Popular phrase. And what does it not mean? Elucidate. So, becoming one with God does not indicate the living being merges into the existence of the Lord. To become one with God means to attain one's original spiritual quality, one with Him qualitatively. We're already qualitative, so it means coverings are removed. Unless one attains one's spiritual quality, one cannot enter into the kingdom of God. What a nice way to present Bhagavatam, is like this. In Vrindavan, all the spiritual entities lists some of them, enjoy life spiritually in association with the Lord, Sri Krishna. They are simultaneously one with and different from the Lord. Ultimately, they are one in different varieties. That's another phrase. The oneness and different simultaneously is one in different varieties. No way of saying the same thing. Oneness and different simultaneously. But so that's what we discussed yesterday evening. And this morning we started with 26. So let's do that in the 4 o'clock session or whenever it happens. And we're ready for our breakout groups to break out.